Can someone live a lie so perfectly that you don't see it until it's too late? I murmur to myself as I step off the sidewalk into the crisp spring morning, the damp scent of freshly cut grass lingering in the air. I clutch the grocery bag in one hand, milk, bread, Claire's favorite, blueberries, and my phone in the other. The screen is dim with what I've just discovered. An address, one I'd never known existed, popping up in his email drafts. I should have felt it coming. The late-night texts he said were work, the hushed errands he ran at odd hours, the way he tensed when I asked about the extra car parked down the street. But the truth always lurks in the shadows, and I never suspected the shadows hid a whole other life, until yesterday, when I found the family photo. It was wedged behind our framed wedding portrait on the mantel, shoved in the back as if he didn't want me to see it. I almost tossed it aside for the trash, but something stirred in me, a sliver of unease. I peeled back the frame's dusty mat and stared. My husband, smiling broadly, with 2 little kids and a woman I didn't recognize. They stared back at me, sunlit faces, beaming, in front of a house I'd never heard described. My heart pounded, and I felt dizzy. I texted him, "We need to talk." I never got a reply. He'd apparently driven straight to the office, oblivious to the storm he'd summoned. So this morning I decided I would find out who they are and why they live just a few blocks from me. I start my search at 8, Maplewood Lane, the address scribbled in the draft I pulled off his email server last night. It's a modest yellow bungalow with a white picket fence I've walked past 100 times, assuming it was someone's rental. Today, I see the bloom of tulips in the front garden, 2 tiny bikes leaning against the fence, a blonde girl who must be 5 and a boy, maybe 7, chasing a ball across the lawn. It jolts me they're real. They're alive, and he's their father. I swallow, heart in my throat, and cross to the gate. I peek through the tulips as the girl squeals. In delight, her mother, my look-alike in a sundress, laughing in the sunlight. Something about their eyes, the curve of her nose, the way she tilts her head, it's him. It has to be. I step back, mind racing. I pace the sidewalk. Every scenario floods my brain. A mistress, an accident, an adoption, a secret second life. How long has this been going on? Months? Years? How did I miss it? My chest tightens, anger, betrayal. Hurts swirl in a storm I can't tame. Suddenly, the gate opens. The woman steps out, bag over one shoulder, coffee in the other. She locks the gate behind her and turns toward the street. In that moment, I freeze. She's heading straight this way. I duck behind a tree. My pulse thrums like a drum. I watch her stroll down Maplewood, the kids trailing behind with their ball. She's humming softly, unaware of my scrutiny. Her hair is tied back in a loose ponytail. Her sandals clip against the pavement. She looks at peace, like any mother on a spring morning, blissfully absorbed in her day. I realize my groceries are still in my hand, half hidden behind the tree. My feet ache to run. Part of me wants to confront her. Who are you? What is this? But another part, something softer, wants to watch, to study, to understand. I do nothing. The woman and children disappear around the corner. I exhale, holster the photo in my purse, and check my phone. His dial tone. My knuckles whiten on the grocery bag. I need proof. I need to know everything before I act. I decide to stake out their house. I'll walk Claire to preschool. The route swings by 8 Maplewood Lane and see if he ever shows up. I'll note license plates, times, patterns. I'll gather evidence, receipts, photos, anything that shows he's more than just a visitor. Then I'll confront him. I'll demand the truth. Later, I drop Claire off and circle back. A silver sedan pulls into the driveway. My heart leaps. I watch as a man, my husband, steps out, briefcase in hand. He squeezes the woman's shoulder, and she turns, smiling, eyes bright. The children wave at him. They call, "Daddy," and he waves back, exuberant. I press myself against the hedge, tears pricking. The world narrows to that snapshot. My husband, father to a second family, half a mile from the home we built together. I retreat before they see me, mind racing with questions. Does he know I found the photo? How long was he planning to keep this secret? How do I even begin to confront him without losing everything? Over the next hour, I document, timestamp photos from my phone, note the license plate, the way the children's laughter floated down the block. I record the make and model of the bike, leaning by the fence. Each detail cements the truth in my mind. Back at home, I spread my evidence on the kitchen table, photo from the frame, screenshots of the email draft, my new photos from this morning. My husband walks in unsuspecting. He pauses at the threshold. "Hey, honey," he says, smiling. "You back early?" I don't look up. I motion to the table. He follows my gaze. Recognition dawns in his eyes, quick as a lightning strike. "Sarah, his..." Voice trails as he sees the evidence arrayed, then a flicker of panic. I swallow, chest tight. "Care to explain?" I manage, voice trembling but firm. He inhales, closing his eyes. "I can't believe you found out." His shoulders slump. He begins, but I hold up my hand. "No. You answer my questions. Right now." He meets my gaze, shame and resolve flickering. "Okay," he says, voice tight. "I'll explain. Everything." And in that moment, standing amid the tulips of truth and shadowed betrayals, I realize my life has split into before and after. The path forward is uncertain, but one thing is crystal clear. I need the truth, unfiltered, before I can choose what to do with this broken puzzle of my marriage, my heart, and my family. And so our conversation begins, one that will change everything. He closes the kitchen door, gently, as if he's afraid to wake something sleeping in these walls. And I fold my arms, leaning back against the counter. The morning sun filters through the blinds, striping his face with light and shadow. He runs a hand through his hair, that familiar nervous gesture I once found endearing. "Sarah, I owe you the truth," he begins, voice tight. "I never meant for you to find out this way." I raise an eyebrow. "Then why'd you hide it?" My voice is sharper than I intend. I feel the sting of tears behind my eyes. He exhales, braces himself on the edge of the counter. "It's complicated. Remember how my father, how he'd always wanted a grandson to take over the family business." His gaze droops with regret. "When I was 18, I found out I had a half-brother, Adam, same father, different mother. They lived in our old neighborhood until Dad moved them overseas. I was devastated, felt replaced. My heart clutches. So your reaction was to hide your own family?" I whisper. He nods, voice breaking. "I spent years searching for him. Found him 2 years ago through a private investigator. His mother, Layla, lived around here under the radar. When I tracked them down, I realized he's my only brother, and she's my stepmother by marriage. I wanted to protect them, shield them from my mistakes." My knees tremble. "Mistakes?" I echo. He slides off the counter and moves closer, lowering his voice. My dad cut them off when he married my mom. They lost everything. House, savings. Layla had to work 3 jobs to feed Adam. I promised I'd help when I found them, but Dad forbade any contact, said it would ruin the family name. I blink back tears. So you've been sending cash under the table, so no one in your family would know. He nods. Every month for the past 18 months. The kids you saw, my son Adam and his daughter Mia, they're my nephew and niece. I never told you because I didn't know how. My vision blurs. You didn't know how to tell me you have a whole other family? A wife who's your stepmother? And kids. Shame warps his face. I was afraid you'd leave me. He chokes out the words. I thought I was doing the right thing. My hand flies to my mouth. I stagger across the room, nearly collapsing into a chair. The weight of his secret presses down. Every lie, every stolen moment, every dollar hidden. I struggle to breathe. He comes to my side, gently takes my hand. Look at me, he says softly. I lift my eyes, shimmering with hurt. I love you. You're my wife. But I couldn't. He searches for words. I couldn't face you with that past, my past. I pull my hand away. Your past is a part of you, and I thought we were supposed to share everything. My voice breaks, raw and trembling. The thought of you sneaking around like some shady benefactor, it felt like betrayal. He bows his head. I know. His voice is nearly a whisper. I should have told you when I first found them, but I was ashamed of what Dad did, ashamed of my own cowardice. I couldn't bear the thought of the whole family turning on them or on you. I inhale, pressing my palms to my eyes. So you chose secrecy over honesty. I demand. What kind of husband does that? He closes the distance, kneels in front of me. A scared one. He holds my gaze, sincere. I thought I could fix everything on my own, pay their rent, cover their tuition, make it right without dragging you into the mess. But it made a mess of us instead. Silence stretches, heavy with broken trust and raw emotion. I want to scream, to demand he leave, to throw the photo across his head. But beneath my anger, a fragile thread of empathy stirs. He's his father's son, bound by guilt and obligation. He messed up royally, but maybe he never intended to hurt me this badly. I exhale slowly, the room spinning. You have to stop, I say finally. No more secret payments. No more lies. My voice is icy but steady. If you're going to help them, you'll do it openly with my blessing, or I won't be part of it. He nods, tears glistening. I will. I promise. I'll set up a joint account we both manage. We'll find a way to support them that doesn't destroy us. I stand cross to the counter and retrieve the framed photo I shoved aside. And what about them? My sudden appearances? Was that some clandestine test? He flinches. No, he says, firmly. I never meant you to meet them like that. I press the photo into his hands. This has to stop, and then we rebuild from scratch. But I need time. He closes his eyes, tucks the photo against his chest. Take all the time you need. That evening, I retreat to the guest room, the one I decorated last fall, anticipating visitors, never expecting to sleep there because of betrayal. The sheets smell of lavender. I curl under the cover, clutching my phone. I dial my sister, voice cracking. I need help. She's there in minutes, wrapping me in a hug. I spill everything again, his hidden family, the secret payments, his plan to go forward honestly. She listens, horror and compassion interweaving on her face. "You did the right thing. Confronting him," she says. "He's stepping up. Give him a chance, but only if he proves he's truly transparent." I nod into her hair, tears spilling. "Can you crash here for a few nights?" I whisper, "I need time to think." She kisses my forehead. "Of course." Over the next days, we craft a plan. I set up a shared spreadsheet on Google Drive, 2 columns, our finances and support for his other family. Every deposit, every withdrawal, must be logged in real time. We'll meet weekly over coffee to review. I also schedule couples counseling with Dr. Howard, an expert in blended family dynamics. Meanwhile, I reach out to Layla, the woman in the photo, via the burner phone Michael left on the counter. I leave a gentle voicemail. "I'm Sarah, Michael's wife. I'd like to talk." My heart pounds. This is unprecedented territory. In the days that follow, I watch for her reply, wondering if she'll lash out or welcome me. The weekend arrives, and Michael and I pull together at the dining table, laptops open, coffee steaming. We review the shared spreadsheet, his salary, our joint expenses, the new support column funded by a small but consistent contribution. He's more transparent than I've ever seen. Him, log after log, line after line. As we work, he explains each entry. School tuition for Adam, therapy bills for Mia, rent and utilities for their home. I see the depth of his commitment and the scale of the debt he feels he owes. At lunch, I bring up Layla. "Have you heard back?" I ask. He shakes his head. "She's scary. She keeps a low profile, but I'll try again." I nod. I want to meet her in person. I need to see them in the light, not through stolen glances. He exhales. "Okay, I'll arrange it." A week later, the meeting happens at a small cafe halfway between the two homes. I arrive, early, nerves fluttering. Michael and I sit at a corner table when Layla enters, flanked by her 2 children. She's serene, eyes guarded but curious. The kids wave. Mia beckons me over. I hug them gently, kneeling to meet their height. Layla smiles hesitantly. "Thank you for reaching out," she says when we're seated. She's poised, gracious. "I was afraid you'd hate me." I shake my head. "I had a lot of anger," I admit, "but I want to understand." She gestures to her son. "Adam struggled when he found out about the family he lost. Your husband saved him from ending up in foster care." Her voice wavers. "Until now, I didn't know how to thank him without angering your parents." I grasp her hand. "My parents aren't part of this. For me, it's about honesty." I look at Michael. We need a new beginning for all of us together. Michael breathes out. "Agreed." Layla nods, tears in her eyes. "I hope we can find a way." We spend the next hour sharing stories of Michael's childhood guilt, of Layla's struggle to raise 2 kids alone, of my own fear of losing the man I loved. Slowly, walls crumble. We plan a pizza night at their house next week, a joint family gathering in neutral ground. That night, I lie in my own bed, my bed, heart full of cautious hope. The photo I found lies next to my pillow, but now it's a reminder of the past, not a bomb about the future. I glance at my phone's notepad, transparency plan, shared spreadsheet, weekly meetings, family nights. I add one more line. Trust. Rebuild in small steps. I close my eyes, letting gratitude wash over me. I asked my harshest questions, demanded the hardest truths, and he answered, brutally honest, painfully vulnerable. I confronted a secret, That could have destroyed us, but instead, it has begun to bring us closer to each other and to a wider family that we can choose to embrace. And as sleep finally beckons, I whisper into the dark, this is our story now, messy, real, and maybe, just maybe, worth saving. I wake to the faint purr of the city in the early light and the memory of last night's dinner still. Warm in my bones, a collaborative feast at Layla's house, where two families merged under one roof for the first time. Michael's mom eyed me warily at first, but by the end of the evening she was laughing, swapping recipes with Layla while Claire and Mia chased fireflies in the backyard. I realized then that the secret I'd uncovered wasn't just a fissure in my marriage, but the doorway to something richer, a larger, blended family waiting to be embraced. A soft knock at my door pulls me out of that memory. I find Michael standing there, holding two mugs of coffee. He sets one on the nightstand and squeezes my shoulder. Morning, he whispers. We have our first quarterly finance review tonight. I manage a sleepy smile. I'll be ready. Beneath that, I feel a thrill. This ritual, once unthinkable, has become our shared language of trust. The day unfurls in routine. I drop Claire at school, noting how she's begun inviting Mia to her playdates. Michael and I exchange a quick wave as he speeds off to the office. I walk to my UX job, weaving through sunlight-dappled sidewalks with purpose. We both carry the weight of transparency lightly now, like a familiar rhythm. That evening, we sit at our new glass dining table, the one we bought after the second family. Revelation, to symbolize clarity, laptops open to our shared spreadsheet. Under support for Layla and Adam, we tally the month's contributions, rent, utilities, groceries, therapy sessions. Under our family budget, we balance mortgage, school fees, and savings goals. We review, line by line, discussing shifts, noting upcoming expenses, Claire's recital costume, Adam's eyeglasses, the community center fundraiser. Throughout, we make eye contact, nodding in mutual understanding, our voices soft but confident. Everything looks balanced, I say, closing my laptop. How was your day? He stretches. Productive. I pitched that new project with the CEO. Your UX insights really helped. He smiles. Thank you. My heart swells. Anytime, I reply. A few weeks later, I stand in the community center auditorium, flipping through notes on my Reclaim Your Story workshop. I'm leading the first session of a 4-part series, an emotional resilience program for women who face life-changing secrets. This journey, born from betrayal, has become a calling. I watch as 10 women enter, some with hesitant smiles, others with arms folded tight. I take a steadying breath and begin. Welcome. Today we learn how to claim your truth and use it to build a stronger future. The room warms with shared stories, an affair revealed at 40, a hidden addiction, a secret child. I guide them through exercises, mapping emotional landmarks, brainstorming support, networks, drafting vision boards. As they share, I recognize the same tremor I once felt, the vulnerability of laying down a painful story. And as they watch me speak, I see something in their eyes, hope. In that moment, I realize that my own story of finding a second family around the corner has transcended personal pain to become a beacon for others. Home that night, Michael and I find each other in the kitchen. He leans against the counter, arms crossed. How was the workshop? He asks, genuine curiosity lighting his eyes. I grin. Amazing. They're forming carpool groups, volunteer co-ops, even peer mentorship pairs. We're starting a private Facebook group, stories that heal. I pull him into a hug. Thanks for encouraging me to do this. He squeezes me. I'm proud of you. We sit at the couch, sipping herbal tea. You know, I say, I never thought I'd stand in front of strangers and talk about betrayal. But it's the best thing I've ever done. He nods, thoughtful. Your strength inspires me. I lean into him. Even when I felt completely powerless, I found power in the truth. Summer arrives, and with it our biggest family gathering yet. A block party in the cul-de-sac. Between our two houses, we string lanterns, set up potluck tables, and invite neighbors to join in. On one side, Michael's extended family, Mrs. Harrington from next door, our old college friends. On the other, Layla's relatives, Adam's grandparents, Layla's co-workers, and some of her church group. Claire and Mia lead the kids' water balloon toss in the street, squealing as laughter ripples through the crowd. I watch Michael and Layla chatting by the lemonade stand. Two women who started as rivals, now allies, sharing recipes for lavender lemonade. I see Mrs. Harrington pat my back, whispering, "You've navigated this like a queen," and the gratitude in Layla's eyes when I offer to teach her to use Canva for her small business posting. I wander through the blend of faces, collecting stories. Mr. Cooper telling me how the spreadsheet idea saved his retirement. Young couples asking how we keep the bond strong. Other women thanking me for the workshop that lit their path. When the sun sets, we light lanterns and release them into the sky, a collective wish for unity, understanding, and continued growth. Claire holds my hand. Adam holds Michael's. Mia stands between us, bridging two worlds. The lanterns ascend in flickering lines, like messages of hope, carried upward. That night, I lie in bed beside Michael, the gentle rise and fall of his breathing a lullaby. I trace the partnership pact hanging on the wall, the core values we wrote years ago now worn, smooth in memory. I slip my hand into his. Do you remember our first conversation? I murmur. When I told you I knew. He nods, sighing. I was terrified, but you handled it with grace I didn't deserve. I smile softly. It's not grace if you're willing to do the work. He kisses my forehead. I'm still doing the work. Every day. I close my eyes and whisper, so am I. As sleep carries me away, I reflect on the journey that began with the photo hidden behind the mantle. It led me through anger, confrontation, and two families divided by secrecy. But it also led to shared spreadsheets, joint workshops, and community gatherings that wove our lives together in unexpected ways. It taught me that burying the truth destroys more than trust. It destroys the possibility of something richer. And in the end, truth has a way of building bridges where walls once stood. Tomorrow, I'll wake to the hum of a new day, one where Claire's laughter echoes in 2 yards, where Michael and I review budgets with open books, where I guide more women to reclaim their stories, and every lantern that sparkles against the night sky will remind me that when we face truth together, we rise, illuminate the darkness, and transform our lives in ways we never imagined possible.